Welcome, welcome. What is up, good people? It is Paw, and I'm back with a Marvel Strike Force Beginner's Guide for 2023. In this guide, I've accumulated a ton of information, knowledge, and research to get you off to the best start in Marvel Strike Force 2023. Now, we will be covering a daily farming guide, your first arena team, and how to go about deciding who that is, where to focus your resources, as well as your beginning raid team, branching off into the 5 Doom raid teams, and when you need to worry about that. Which teams I recommend, which teams you shouldn't build, which you should, kind of how to decide that, as well as my tips and recommendations. We're also going to cover a few flash events in my daily farming guide, as well as campaign requirements. And what I mean by campaign requirements is some of these campaign nodes, after level 70 Heroes Chapter 7, actually require specific characters, traits, or teams to beat each node. So bear that in mind. I got a ton of recommendations, and if nothing else, I have the outline so you can plug in the characters for your roster into where they're able to perform, right? We're also going to talk about the resource management side of it, how to manage your gold, training modules, gear, your character shard farming, your character shards, all that good stuff, your resources, how to manage that, and how to juggle it. Because Marvel Strike Force oftentimes are referred to as a juggling act. And you got to be able to juggle things and make changes as the game throws stuff at you, because there's always new characters coming into the game. There's always these flash events. There's always milestones that could totally change what you're able to do with your account and benefit you. So you absolutely got to be able to juggle these things, and I'm hopefully this information will help you make better decisions doing that. Now, by the end of this video, I hope that we can cover how to have fun in Marvel Strike Force and maybe how to build your favorites and do it in the right way without hindering your account or your progression, okay? Because absolutely, at the end of the day, if you haven't built your favorites and you quit the game, your memories are going to be, well, I farmed these said characters because someone told me to for this certain game mode, and I got the rewards, and then I built more characters for a different game mode. That don't sound like fun. What sounds like fun to me is I built my favorites, Moon Knight, White Tiger, Apocalypse. I collected Apocalypse and I built him up, and I totally crushed people's faces in war. You know what I mean? I just wrecked face. It was amazing, a wonderful game. Those are the memories we want to create, and this guide is going to help you do that with the information and knowledge to be able to make, the best choices for you. So before we dive in here, definitely go down and click subscribe. We're headed for 1,000 subscribers. I make tons and tons of Marvel Strike Force content. I cover the weekly blogs, first impressions on new characters, just tons and tons of things out there. Beginner guides, guides of all sorts, as well as I make event guides to help you utilize your resources to maximize your points and get those awesome rewards, right? So definitely subscribe. I put out a ton of content and would love for you to be a part of my community. Completely free to do, but it keeps you up to date when I release videos. Also, smash that thumbs up if you like the video. It helps my channel grow, as well as recommends my videos to more of the Marvel Strike Force viewer base on YouTube, which also helps my channel grow. We want to get this information out there, get feedback, and inform people on what we think is the best decisions in Marvel Strike Force 2023. Now, there's a link to my Discord in the description of the video. Come join us over there. Our community is thriving. We have people that are end-game, beginners, mid-game, all different types of experience and account levels. You can ask questions, answer questions. You can give your opinions and thoughts, and it's all valued. You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody might answer your question. It might not be the best answer in the world, but it's definitely, there's people over that are willing to try and give you their opinions and help you figure things out in this game. As well as there's some awesome tools like the Marvel Strike Force or the MSF.GG bot, which actually recommends war counter teams to certain wars or certain enemies you're fighting in war. ISO recommendations, team lineups, all that good stuff, right? As well as my event guides and my PDFs will be there, so you can download them from the event channel and make adjustments. You can have them on your computer or your phone and such. We're just trying to build the biggest, healthiest, friendly environment for Marvel Strike Force community that we possibly can. So come in there, be an adult, have fun, make friends, no toxicity type stuff. Alright, definitely comment down below what you think of this video. If you have any tips or opinions, I'd love to hear them all, even if they're totally against mine. I do get salty sometimes, and I apologize, but I love to hear any opinion, and I love a constructive conversation, I should say. And I'm just giving my opinion, so I respect your opinions, even if I don't agree with them all the time. So definitely comment down below. I love that interaction with the community. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about here on Marvel Strike Force is actually going to be my arena team and how to decide who my arena team is. So I'm level 33 on day 4, and I unlocked arena at level 30. Who should be my arena team? How do I pick my characters? The first thing you're going to want to consider is your daily rewards here, your calendars and your welcome calendars, because it's going to give you a mega orb. And a lot of who you're using is based off who you get from mega orbs and premium orbs. So like Cersei, Icarus, Deathpool, mega orbs drop random newer characters, and there's a good 5 to 10 characters that you're going to want. Essentially, that will change your account. You're going to want to put on your arena team, stuff like that. And we're going to talk about how you can kind of decide who you should pick. But first of all, your welcome calendars. And these change month to month. Because last month I got Spider Weaver, Scarlet Spider, and a few other things. But this month, they're actually giving me Nick Fury at 3-star unlock. He's a legendary. He's in one of the best raid team positions for incursion raids. Phenomenal champion. He's used to unlock Omega Red, another legendary. He's just a great character, and I want to build Nick Fury personally. So absolutely, this is going to be in my arena team starting out. Now the cool thing here is whoever I pick for my arena team is also going to be on my raid team. And if they're not great in raids, maybe I could pick someone else to put in there. That's something you have to decide. But ideally, I'm just going to use my 5 best characters for arena, and then I'm going to use them for my raid, for Ultimus raids. Once you move into Doom raids, you will need 5 teams, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So Nick Fury for me is going to be one that I'm going to use. They gave me a Secret Avenger calendar, and these 2 are needed to unlock Omega Red as well. That's something I want to do in the future. They're really great characters. I'm going to use them in my arena team currently. And they give you 50 Ultra Cores when you start the game. It's essentially $5, real money. But you got to spend it on the game. So I bought this for 30 Ultra Cores for Captain America Sam. Now, if you don't buy this calendar for 30 Ultra Cores or $3, you can't farm him until you get to Doom War Chapter 6 or Chapter 2, Node 6. And you actually have to be level 75 is required to even get to that content. So you're looking at a good 3 to 4 months probably before you're level 75. So you won't be able to farm him till then. You're definitely going to want to get the calendar if you're building this type of a team. Now, if your welcome calendar is totally different, go with someone else, But I went ahead and grabbed this for 30 Ultra Cores that they gave me because he's going to pair with these 2. Those 3 are the Secret Avengers. And then with Nick Fury, all 4 of them unlock Omega Red. So that's my starting team that I'm going to be using. Now, I do have a Galactic Event goodies. And I imagine they're going to do one of these every month, I would hope. Any character under level 51 is going to have access to this. They're giving us Vol. And Vol has the highest damage output in this game currently. Is one of the newest characters. And is just a phenomenal original character for Marvel Strike Force. Once I unlock Vol on day 35... Oops, I hit the wrong button, sorry. Once I unlock Vol on day 35 here, she is going to be going into my arena team, my raid team, everywhere in this game. Dark Dimension, I'm going to take her into Dark Dimension. Vol is an amazing character, and absolutely that's somebody I'm going to use. Now, if you have questions on these characters, the best thing I can say is come into Discord and be like, hey, I just started the game. I got some welcome calendars. Can you guys tell me which characters I should build for my first 5 strongest characters? And kind of talk about what you got offered here on the side, and we can answer those questions. But you're going to have to make a personal decision on who you want to build. So I personally am going to be building my Captain America Sam with Maria Hill, Sharon Carter, and Nick Fury for my arena team. And they're giving me Spider-Man 2099. He's going to be my 5th. And I'm going to run this team, all 5 of these, for my arena team as well as my raid team. Unless I get somebody better from a Mega Orb to replace somebody. At which point, if I were to replace someone, it'd probably be Maria Hill would go first. And then Sharon Carter would be the next one I replace. And so on. You know what I mean? Bringing in a better character that can do more things for my arena team and my raid team. That's kind of how you go about deciding what to do and who to use for your arena team. It's going to be based off your welcome calendars and such and what they give you. The other thing that you're going to base it off of is your orb drops. So here in the premium orbs, they usually put the newest characters in here and they shuffle one out. So you have access to some of the newer characters, some of the best characters. And in here, Cersei and Icarus are a premium. They actually drop at a higher drop rate. And my farming guide gets you set up to get them as soon as possible. So you see how everybody's got a 0.46% chance to drop 15 shards. You'll see Cersei and Icarus have a 2%. So the game wants you to get these 2. They are built for arena. They're built for Dark Dimension. They're built for raids. They're built for clearing content. They are 2 of the best characters in this entire game. After 5 years, they are still 2 of the best characters you can get. And they are the 2 best characters you can get in the first, I would say, year of your gameplay. If you're free to play. You're going to want them. They're going to clear everything. Now, I will say, moving up here, Deathpool is in here, and she's one of the new warriors. And my guide's going to set you up to work towards that. So if you get your hands on Deathpool, definitely invest in Deathpool. She's phenomenal. Do it when you're allowed, or when you're able to, I should say. Right here, Deathpool. And you can only get her out of these premium orbs. So she's a premium orb exclusive. It sucks. She don't drop enough. It could take you 2 months to get her, 3 months to get her. You could get her in the first month, same as Cersei. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be relying on this orb for Deathpool and Cersei. It's RNG, but you only need Cersei to drop 3 times. Now the other orb you want to focus on is your Mega Orb, and we're going to look at the shards that can drop from here and the characters I would recommend. If you were to get Madeline Pryor, Gambit, Cersei, Silver Surfer, Spider Weaver, Kestrel, Doctor Strange, Heartless, build them for your arena team, your raids, everywhere. If they're phenomenal characters, they would be great for your account. You get that Mega Orb your first week of play, so if 50 shards of them drop and you unlock that character, that should be one of your 5 arena team characters. Okay, now these other characters, you might want to do some research, like Sunfire, or STA, Star-Lord, or SLA, Star-Lord Annihilation, Nemesis and stuff. I don't know how great they are for arena and stuff here early on. These are more like raid teams and such. I think Cosmo's for war, so he might be good in arena. I would just stick to those characters I recommend to decide who your arena team is, okay? Is my personal recommendation. And it's going to be different for everybody. So, starting out last month, my free-to-play got totally different characters and was running a totally different arena team. This month, it's going to be running a totally different arena team. Now, we're going to be building towards Cersei, Icarus, Cloak, Dagger, and Deathpool eventually. That's what the whole beginner's farming guide I'm going to talk about here in a minute. It leads you to that. And they are meta characters after 5 years. They are still up in the meta. 5 of the greatest characters you can get your hands on. There are obviously better characters, but not for a new player, and definitely not free to play. Now I want to talk about raids. And you're going to unlock raids at level 25. You actually unlock this before arena, but it's like 1 day before. So the next day you're going to unlock arena, and you're going to be using the same 5 characters because it's really all you got early on. And the team I'm recommending for Ultimus raids, and depending on which size your alliance is, you're going to be doing Ultimus 1 up to Ultimus 7. And all that means is it actually just progressively you get harder enemies, right? As you can see, we're in Ultimus 6.5, so we're on the hardest difficulty. If we 60% it, we will be moving to Ultimus 7.1 and then moving further in, right? So at its max, Ultimus 7.5. On my main account, about 2 months in, our alliance is doing great, and we're actually in Ultimus 7.5. You're going to live there till you're like level 75 or 80, and that's going to take you a good 3 to 6 months. So it's not overnight. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to be living in Ultimus 7.5 once you get to that point for a long time, okay? Now, the team I recommend to use here, you can use any 5 characters. I just say use your arena team. It used to be I'd recommend things. I got a lot of pushback. I'm going to leave that option open to you, and I'm going to give you some suggestions here after a bit when we talk more in depth about Doom raids. But currently for Ultimus, I would just use your arena team. Save your gold, save your gear, save your training modules for when you decide to build teams, raid teams for Doom raids. And this is going to help you stay very tight on your resource management. Your gold's going to start to pile up. Your gear is going to be piling up. Every single day your training modules are going to pile up. You're just going to be building 5 characters essentially. Straight up. All the way as strong as you possibly can. Sorry, I got these ones hearted here. I was messing around making footage. But your 5 best characters, essentially, is what you want to be building. And then you'll branch out a little bit for challenges. You'll branch out a little bit for flash events. You'll branch out a little bit for Dark Dimension. But you want to stay as focused as you can around that arena team and use them in Ultimus 7.5. Alright. Now I actually want to talk about my daily farming guide. Whoop whoop. So before we talk about this farming guide, I want to say Paws Guide to the Marvel Strike Force Galaxy series has tons of amazing tips and advice and information. Bear in mind, my beginner's farming guide has changed quite a bit, and I'm going to explain all those reasons and kind of talk through what I changed and why and how. But these have tons and tons of great tips and advice. I would definitely recommend going and watching that series, or subscribing and staying tuned for future videos, because I like to make a lot of refresher videos and stuff as we get more subscribers. You know what I mean? So definitely check those out. Not everything is going to be 100% accurate anymore because things are changing constantly in Marvel Strike Force. Again, it is a juggling act, and you got to roll with the punches. So that's why you want to be subscribed, is for when new guides come out that are updated and have changes. Okay, so you're not working on outdated information, essentially. So this is my master plan, Paws multiversal paths. And this is the path through the cosmos, the multiverse. That's going to help you conquer Marvel Strike Force. Okay, that was a hell of an intro, right? I'd like to think. But honestly, so we're focusing our arena team at level 30, and we're using them in our raid team for U7.5. Now what do we got to think about? Well, who do we farm from there, right? Well, we already told you how to set up your arena team off your welcome counters and orbs. Now these characters I'm going to recommend you farm are for 2 flash events and to help you build towards Cersei, Icarus, and the new Warrior 3, which is going to set you up for complete and utter success. You're going to understand the game better, and you can branch from there, right? You can vine out and follow different paths from there. So we are going to be farming mercenaries for our payday event, which pays out gold once a month. These flash events happen once a month, essentially. So this is huge, and we're going to be farming mercenaries for that. Now, back to boot camp actually gives you training modules, and you need skill military characters. As you can see here, skill military. You got 6 options, and you only need 5. But we'll talk more in depth about it here in a moment. So this farming guide actually shows you where they're farmable at and how much energy. So as I said before, I only go to villains 3-3, and I quit leveling up the villains I don't like, and I wait for newer ones to come out or I have access to. But I just want to get to that Merc Lieutenant node in villains. Now once I hit level 70, I will want to push through all of the content. But by then I'll have some other villains that I really like for mid-game to end-game for raids and stuff that I could build up to beat that content, right? So I'd recommend farming these characters starting out when you get to their nodes. Use the rest of your energy for other characters like the Sin 6 if you want to build them to unlock Black Cat. Use your other energy for Wakandans if you want to go after Chaos Theory Flash event. Things like that. Farm your favorites too. Or farm gear for your arena team / raid team, right? And that's what you're going to want to do with the rest of your energy. Because in Marvel Strike Force, you get 1,108 energy a day. So, as you can see here, you're not going to be spending very much energy on nodes. And I tried to make the guide a lot more simplified. So, these mercenaries are going to be used for the payday event. And these skill military like Punisher, Black Widow, Yelena Belova are all going to be used for the back to boot camp. Now, you see Winter Soldier here. The reason I put him on this list is he's currently part of the best raid team in the game, as well as he's going to be used to unlock Omega Red. This guide is my best way through Marvel Strike Force as a new player, and it's what I want to do with my account, and I would recommend it for you to do as well. It's going to make you build the most efficient, smart characters pushing through the game, in my opinion. Now you see Cable here. Cable actually unlocks Doc Ock, I do believe. X-Force unlocks Doc Ock. And he's part of the Sinister Six. He's an amazing, amazing legendary. And that's why I got Cable here. As well as he's great in arena, early game, leading into mid game. He's great for a speed mechanic. Definitely watch my arena video and tips. It'll explain why he's so wonderful. Now, this is where you get him again with the energy. Kree minions to unlock Nick Fury. So for me personally, if I didn't get that Nick Fury welcome counter, I would farm the Kree minions on these nodes until they're at 3-star to unlock a Nick Fury, right? But now that they're giving him to me, I'm going to wait a couple months till I get my count going better, and then I'll start building up the Kree to level up my Nick Fury. Now, if you spent all your farming energy and all your gear farms for the day and you still have energy, I would go farm these Kree, because you're going to need them eventually to start up Nick Fury. I believe you're going to have Nick Fury at 5 stars to unlock Omega Red. Same with Winter Soldier. And then you just need higher stars to get him at 6 and 7 star. So, bear all that in mind. And I want to talk about real quick why we're farming this mercenaries and skill military. In the payday event, as you start up your 5 mercenaries that you choose, I hearted the ones I'm going to be using, but if you start up 5 characters, 5 mercenaries, you're going to get rewards. If you don't have 1 star on 5 characters, you're not even going to get this, so you're going to get 0. Now, if you have 3 stars on 5 mercenaries and have them a little bit built up, when this flash event comes, you're actually going to get 1,000,000 gold for each fight, and you can do 3 fights once a month. So you're going to get 3 million gold once a month. That's a huge chunk of gold for any account, let alone a free-to-play new player. You're going to want this gold. That 3 million is huge, right? And it's going to add up. Passive income, we got to manage our resources. Every bit helps. Now, if you take these mercenaries up to 7 star, you're going to be getting 5.4 million gold a month. I think it's like 1.8 million per fight, and it adds up to 5.4 million. So you're definitely going to want to be taking them up, but definitely, if nothing else, get them to 3-star as soon as possible, and then you can decide when to take them up later, is my personal recommendation. It's all on how much you value this gold, but I think 3 million gold a month, it's pretty huge, and it's a really easy investment, easy to do thing, and there's really no one else to farm early on, so why not, right? Now, that's my recommendation. This is what you need to max it out. 7-star, 5 of these characters, and get them to this gear tier and these abilities and level, and you can get tier 7 beat. It's not that bad of an investment, but I would just do it passively throughout the game after you've done tier 3. Definitely get to that tier 3, though. Now, the back to boot camp is where we're going to actually get training modules to level them up. So level 33, and it costs more and more. You're going to run out of training modules more than likely, and especially if you're spending on too many teams, then you're going to run out of them even quicker. So you're going to want to max this as soon as possible. So I recommend focusing these characters to 7 stars. So I'll be farming Punisher, Black Widow from day 1 until they're at 7 stars. And I'll be buying Red Guardian until he's at 7 stars. Also, Yelena Belova, you're going to be farming her from a node, but it takes I would say 7 to 10 days to get to her node in Heroes. But I'm going to be farming her till she's 7 stars. And why that is because if you don't have them at 1 star, you're getting 0 once a month. If you only have them at 1 star, you're getting 30 and 60 of these. Not very much, right? But at max tier 7, you're going to be getting 360 level 2 training modules, 540 level 3 training modules, which is quite a bit, honestly, and 4,500 training orb fragments. Now, if someone tells you it's going to take you forever to get your investment back from leveling up the 5 skill military characters, no, it's not, because you're actually going to be getting that 3 million gold from the Mercenary Payday event, and you're going to be getting the training modules. First time rewards on this for completing each tier is like, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 level 3 training modules. It's just a ton, right? So you're going to get compensated just for completing them the first time, and then you'll be getting this payout every month after that for the rest of the time you play Marvel Strike Force. And that's why I recommend who I do to farm in my daily farming guide here. It breaks down the nodes. Now we're going to go and break down the store guide here and who I recommend and why. And all it is the rest of the characters you need and a few others for like that ultimate goal of Icarus, Cersei, Cloak, Dagger, Deathpool. Maple, quit. Alright. So in the Blitz store, you're going to want to buy Shang-Chi till he's unlocked at 45 shards. Then open Blitz Orbs forever. And that's a personal recommendation. You don't have to do this. Literally, you can just open Orbs always, and eventually you're going to unlock Shang-Chi. Now, the reason that you would unlock him immediately is he's one of the best characters in the game. Early access, he hits hard as a truck, he kicks everybody in the face, has an ultimate with a 3-turn cooldown, and he kicks everybody in the face, and it hurts. I mean, he really does a lot of damage. He's used in raids as one of the best raid teams for the longest time. Still could be considered one of the best raiders, one of the best Dark Dimension characters. He's used everywhere, and he's phenomenal. Amazing, amazing character. You wouldn't be wrong either way. So, if you have 5 amazing arena characters, don't buy him. You know what I mean? Just open Orbs, and you'll get him naturally. Now, Raid Store, you're going to want to buy Icarus, Baron Zemo, and Cloak. And I added Cloak to this because this is what I'm doing, and like I said, this guide is for myself and what I would recommend to players. We want Cloak, okay? Cloak is going to help us have one of the best Dark Dimension teams, push through Dark Dimension a lot easier. We can focus him from day 1 until end game. He's an amazing character with Dagger, and as you can see, we got Dagger. We want to buy Dagger out of the Arena Store, okay? Now, these are all 100 shard unlocks. The reason you want Baron Zemo is he's actually used for Villain 7, Chapter 7, Node 1 through 3. It requires Hydra and Sin 6. If you just don't want to use Baron Zemo and you want to focus on Sin 6, 5 Sin 6 characters to beat that, that's great. But you could absolutely just get Baron Zemo, take him up to 60,000 power, and he'll beat those 3 nodes by himself. That's one character that you're investing in instead of 5 Sinister 6. Now, yes, Black Cat is coming, and I'm going to want to build Sinister 6. You're going to want to build them. So maybe you don't go after Baron Zemo anymore. Maybe you just buy Icarus and Cloak. That's totally up to you, but this is what I would recommend is these 3. Buy them till they're unlocked at 100 shards, and then just open Raid Orbs forever. Okay? That's what I would do personally. And we'll break it down in the store here in a minute as to why you want to open these orbs in both of these. Blitz Orbs actually give you gold, and it costs less to buy the orb than to buy the shards. So you can buy a ton of orbs and get way more character shards for cheaper. And same with Raid Orbs. When you open a Raid Orb, you get 9 character shards. as to when you buy a character, you only get 5, and when you buy 5 character shards, it costs you, I want to say 1,500 raid credits, whereas when you buy a raid orb, it only costs you 900. So you're getting 1 shard for 100 raid credits, but if you buy them specifically, you're paying almost 300 raid credits per character shard. And I'll show you here in a moment to break it down easier. But again, from the Arena Store, Red Guardian is a skilled military character. Amazing character. You're going to want him for back to boot camp. He's going to cost 5 Arena Store credits. So I would buy him and Dagger off and on. I'd probably focus Dagger first myself, get her unlocked, and then go Red Guardian. And just make sure Red Guardian has the same amount of stars as the rest of these characters for back to boot camp. So if he's at 4-star and they're only at 3-star or something, stop buying him from the Arena Store and buy a character you want to build, right? Like Swarm for the Sinister Six, or Deadpool for the X-Force, Doctor Strange Heartless, whatever you want to do. Buy who you want. Ghost Spider for the Web Warriors. Countless characters in there are quite phenomenal. So if you got him higher than the rest of the characters star level, stop buying him and let them catch up, and then start buying him again to keep them at equal star level. They all have to be the same star level to do this event. So even if you get him to 7 stars, everybody else is at 4 stars, you can only do the 4-star, tier 4. You won't be able to max it out just because you have one character at 7 stars. So bear that in mind. And then that's all I would say. I bounce back and forth between these two until they're 7 stars. That's my personal plan. I may buy Swarm occasionally, get him unlocked. We're going to see how the Black Cat event goes. I don't know yet. So in the War Store, I only recommend Ghost anymore. And that's for Gamma raids, Dark Dimension, and Tech Doom raids. So, and she can be used in campaign requirements as well. Ghost is an amazing champion. There are tons of other characters. Nakia is the only place you can find Nakia for the Wakandans for Chaos Theory. Scarlet Spider's in there for the Web Warriors. X-23 for X-Force. Long Shot for X-Factor. Amazing characters in there. You're going to want them all, but I'm trying to keep this guide as hyper-focused on select few characters, so that way you're not spreading your gear everywhere. So the characters I have you building right here in this farming guide are going to last you for the entirety of your account. They're going to be used all the way into end game in one way, shape, or another form. They're necessary. You're going to want them, right? And you can get them right away, so why not get them out of the way and be maxing these rewards fast? All right. So that is my farming guide. Now, like I said, I'll jump into the game here and actually show you the store just real quick on those 2 spots so you understand, kind of, or those 3 spots. So in this store here, it's only 500 credits for Shang-Chi for 5 shards. He's 45 shard unlocked, so you could buy him till he's unlocked like I did on my main account. Otherwise, I recommend buying Orbs. See how it's cheaper? It's 150 cheaper, but you're still going to get 5 character shards. And if you look here, you're actually getting gold from each orb. So you're getting up to from 3,000 to 6,000 gold per orb, and it's 150 credits cheaper. Gold is a huge bottleneck. You want every coin you can get. So definitely open Blitz Orbs, and it might drop Shang-Chi or it might drop this premium character, right? So just bear that in mind for 350 credits. So the same thing goes for this. If you see Icarus, I've already got him unlocked. I'm not focus farming him anymore. If you see Baron Zemo or Cloak, I buy them till they were unlocked. Now all I do is I open these orbs every time with all my credits. And as you can see, we're going to get those characters. There's some Icarus. We didn't get no Zemo or Cloak that time. We got some ton of Killmonger, Sharon Carter, some Sin 6. So as you can see, there's a perk to it. And the perk is you're paying 900 credits per orb and you're getting 9 shards. Now, what it essentially does, it levels up tons of characters. So you have more blitz teams, and you have the characters unlocked if you ever need to gear them for like a legendary or some kind of game content. It really helps, and that's why you want to do it early on. Build out your blitz teams. But if I were to buy this 5 shards, it would cost me like 275 or 270 raid credits per shard instead of 100 credits per shard. Okay, so just bear that in mind. And for this arena store, I don't like paying $9.75 for a character. I really don't. You can buy anybody you want in here, but I recommend getting Dagger unlocked at least. If nothing else, she's a phenomenal character. I would highly recommend you just focus buying her, building her up. She's a phenomenal character and will carry your account. And then Red Guardian is massive. You need him for the back to boot camp. If you don't care about training modules or the back to boot camp thing, you don't care about maximizing all your resource gains every single day, don't worry about it. Farm someone else. Swarm's great for Sin 6, top 10 in damage. You got Black Order in here. You got Brotherhood characters. Vultures in here. And Baku for the Wakandans. Deadpool for the Mercenaries. There's tons of great characters, right? Again, I would highly recommend you just do Red Guardian and Dagger. It's that simple. And then here in Ghost, or here in War Store, I would just buy Ghost every time you see her. Otherwise, Dazzler's amazing. X-23, like I said. Scarlet Spider. Countless other characters and champions. Nakia for the Wakandans. You could buy them as well, but you're not going to have very much as currency. So you want to hyper focus, I would just say get Ghost. Alright, so that is my daily farming guide. And now I want to jump back in and talk about this raid Gamma. So these Greek raids happen for 2 weeks long. So if you look over here, Gamma raid, we got another 9 days, 22 hours. And it launches every 24 hours, a new raid can be launched. When this 2 weeks is over, it's going to go to Alpha raid. And it's going to require totally different characters, right? For 2 weeks. And then it's going to go to Beta raid, which is going to require totally different characters for 2 weeks. And then we'll be back to Gamma again. So Gamma is one of the hardest raids in the game. New player or otherwise, it's essentially a Doom raid for new characters. It's very, very hard. So what it actually requires here, I want to go in here and show you. It's going to require specific teams. So like Brotherhood and Shield. If we jump over here, this is Avengers, and it ain't going to show me because it's already been beat, but it's Avengers and Spider-Verse. On the inside lane, I'm not sure what it is, but it's totally different teams, right? And you're going to be able to play through this with your Spider-Man 2099, or your Thors, or, you know, you're going to have the characters. Just throw a little bit of gear into them to beat the nodes. You're going to have to do that on your own judgment. But Ghost up here, it requires Pemtech or Wakandan, Pemtech or Kree. I don't want to build the Kree any higher than I have to for Nick Fury. I don't want to build the Wakandans any higher than I have to for Chaos Theory. I'm just going to build Ghost out of the War Store. And Ghost, literally, see how far I got? It's because I have Ghost. Ghost carried me through all 3 of these nodes. Or 2 or 3 nodes. And then it's going to change again to different teams. Guardians, Mercenary, X-Men. Well, I'm just going to use my Mercenaries. Up here, it's going to require X-Men, Mercenary Brotherhood. Kree, Spider-Verse, Guardian. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the hardest farms in the world. But Ghost is going to carry through those Pemtech nodes. I highly recommend just building Ghost. You can use Ghost in Dark Dimension and other places. And then as for these other team requirements, pick characters that you love or that you're going to use for different game modes. After hearing all this information, make your best judgment and just build them big enough to beat the nodes. Don't build them any further than you have to. You know what I mean? And then once later on, if you decide you finally want to build them all the way, or you need them built all the way, you're going to have a ton of golden resources to do that, right? So that's my personal recommendation for Gamma. Alright. So now I want to talk about this giant gas balloon campaigns. This giant cloud with all the stars. Pow! You know what I mean? This is the next thing. We've done our arena team, our raid team. We've got them focused, right? We're getting a couple of the flash events, the ones that matter and are important to us. We're going to start focusing on campaign requirements. And I built a little spreadsheet. You can find this PDF over on my Discord channel. Definitely check it out in the events section. Priority farms for clearing campaigns. So, Heroes Chapter 7, you actually have to be level 70 is what it's going to require. And then it's going to require City for the first 3 nodes, Global for the second 3 nodes, and then Cosmic. These characters are just some of my recommendations. Use the characters that you have unlocked in your account from Orbs or at the highest star level and invest enough into them to beat these, right? Then we're going to go into Villains Chapter 7. Again, it's going to require Hydra. Here you see that Baron Zemo. He's coming in solid at level 70. If you open Orbs, you might get him before level 70, but it's not guaranteed. So that's why I just focus farm him. There's our Winter Soldier for the Hydra part. Now Sinister 6, you're going to want to invest in for Black Cat. Well, that's a requirement here. So this just lists off your requirements for each section. Upon beating Villains Chapter 7, Node 1, you're going to unlock Nexus Chapter 8. And here's the requirements for that and my recommendations over here personally. The characters I'll probably be using. And then it's going to go into Doom War Chapter 1. And it's going to require Shield, Hero Mutants, Hero Inhumans. And I recommend these characters because I'm using them in different places. Like Wolverine, Cable. Here's Cable, Wolverine, Cable, Wolverine. Kitty Pryde, Black Bolt. I'm going to use Black Bolt to unlock Ebony Maw, so I would definitely use them here. Negasonic, X-23, that's X-Force. I'm going to use them to unlock Doc Ock, so why not use them here? I'm going to build them for Doc Ock. Well, then you're going to get to Doom War Chapter 2. You have to be level 75. And this will be around, I would say, between 5 and 7 months of gameplay. Especially if you're free to play, it's probably going to be closer to 7 months, I'd bet, if not longer, for you to reach level 75. And then you're going to be able to move into these ones, and it's going to have different requirements. Well, looking at this and downloading this PDF, you can actually build a plan for yourself. You can delete the names I've put in and put in characters you want to use or characters you've unlocked that meet the requirements, right? I've left it totally open because you could use Web Warriors, you could use Spider-Verse, you could use Marauders, you could use Wakandan or Mercenary. It's up to you for your account, and I want to leave it more open. I just typed in some names here to give you kind of a general direction. If you were to build these characters, it would not be wrong, is what I'm trying to say. But if you build totally different ones, that's totally up to you as well. It just lists the requirements and which nodes they'll beat. But that's the last requirement for Doom War. You'll be able to finish all number 2, 3, and 4 here once you've reached level 75. Now, bear in mind, you might not have all the characters invested on at the time, but you will be able to do that. Now, I want to jump in game and continue talking about campaign requirements here. Let me pull up my screen, maybe, possibly. Boom. All right. So the next thing you're going to be thinking while doing this Doom War and working through it, right, is these hard nodes, and it actually unlocks at level 75. So while doing Doom War Chapter 2, 3, and 4, you can come over and start farming in here if your characters are strong enough. And this is just a harder version of your regular heroes and villains, I do believe. So just bear that in mind. It's going to be the villains and bad characters on steroids, or souped up, essentially. And it's going to be harder to beat, but there's some premium newer characters on these nodes that you can farm. I want to say like Black Panther, 1mm, Cersei's on a node in here that you can farm to get her to 7 stars and be more powerful. Tons of great characters, right? As well as gear. There's a lot of good gear in here. Now, Nexus hard mode, you actually have to be level 80. And there's some Doom Raid characters in here for Death Seed, and I imagine Rebirth will probably go into Nexus or a Mystic Cosmic hard campaign node. But that's all at level 80. So we don't have to make any decisions on Web Warriors or Rebirth. We don't have to make decisions on Secret Avengers or Invaders. You know what I mean? None of that stuff. We don't have to worry about it, because eventually these might have characters on them for us for better raid teams, right? So we're going to wait until we're hit level 80 to decide which Doom Raid teams we want. And that's going to be the next topic we talk about here, is the possible Doom Raid teams. I've made an infographic, a PDF, listing them off. And I'm going to give you my recommendations. So we're going to be working through Heroes and Villains hard campaigns at level 75 plus, and Doom War Chapter 2 through 4. And we're building the characters and teams we need to do that, right? Now, once we get to level 80, we're going to come into Nexus and see what we can't farm for our Doom Raids, and we're going to start thinking about Doom Raids. So I'm going to jump right over here to Doom Raids, and we're going to talk about that real quick. So we've been doing U75 this whole time. We hit level 80. We're ready for Doom Raids. It says down here it recommends level 80. We can look up here. Squad level 80, gear tier 15 plus, ability level 7, 7775. Red stars 5 plus, ISO 8 class level 1, or tier 1 level 5. This is a heavy invest team. And you got to bring in 25 characters, 5 different teams. And I'll break that down right here. So it's, you got bio, skill, tech, I believe, mutant, mystic, and then mutants. So you need 5 mutant, 5 mystic, 5 tech, 5 skill, 5 bio. And who do we use for that, right? Well, I got this infographic I want to pull up for raid teams. And this got every raid team that I know of personally listed. Obviously, you could plug and play a bunch of meta characters together and try to get it done. I don't know how that fares, but this is what is recommended here. So for the bio raid team, when you hit level 80 or you're getting close to level 80, you want to look at what you have access to for bio characters. Well, symbiotes were the first raid team, but they're only going to get you through Doom Raid 1 and maybe Doom Raid 2, a little bit of it. Maybe a little bit. They start to fall off hard. They're just too slow. They usually stay alive, but they just can't beat the node in 5 minutes. So they're not effective, right? So then we got the Web Warriors. They're a lot faster. They beat the node in like 2 or 3 minutes, 1 minute, 1 to 3 minutes usually, and they never get hit. But as you get into Doom Raid 3 and into Incursion Raids, there's a lot of debuffs on them, and if they get debuffed, they die fast. So they're no longer the best team, but these teams could carry you all the way from Doom Raid 1, 2, 3. And then once you get ready for incursion raids, you're going to have to build the next best thing, which is Rebirth. So for a new player watching this, by the time you hit level 80 to even make this decision, there might be a new bio team out. There might be a new tech team. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You want to go in and research what the newest characters are out and which ones you have access to. So everybody out there is saying build Rebirth. Well, unless you're spending money, you can't get this character, this character, this character. He's $40 for 50 shards, $40 for 50 shards. I want to say this character's 15 for 50 or 40 for 50, and you can buy them both. But you need 100 shards of each. So this is $80 per character, essentially, for these three. So if you're free to play, this is not an option. Now, by the time we get to level 80 and we have to decide, and we're in that Nexus Hard campaign, maybe they put these three characters on those nodes. We could farm them at that point, right? And we could farm them up and build them instead of building these other two. Now, if they're not accessible, or they're not where you can get to with your account, and you need to get ready for Doom Raids, build Web Warriors big enough to beat the raid, right? Beat the nodes, and then go after these when you can, okay? You don't have to build any team. It's totally up to you. And if you're saving resources and just building that one team for U7.5 and that one team for Arena, you're going to have millions of gold, hundreds of millions of gold, tons of gear, tons of training modules. Okay, so just bear that in mind. You're going to have plenty of resources if you just stick to specific characters and specific teams. Now, if you're building up 10 different teams for wars and stuff like you shouldn't be, then you're not going to have any resources. It's going to be a lot more difficult. You're going to run into a lot of bottlenecks. But these are your three options for bio. And I would say don't even invest in Sybios unless it's your favorite team. They're amazing looking. They're amazing characters, amazing team. But I wouldn't build them for bio raids. It's not efficient. If you love this team, build your favorites, right? Have fun, build your favorites. This is the way I would probably go. And then if you have access to these, then build this. Tech team, there's really no options. You got Bionic Avengers. Boom, 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 boom. And the only place you can get this guy is from Arena Orbs. And I would highly recommend against opening those. So this really isn't an option, in my personal opinion. And for tech raids, I'm going to give you some choices here that I think is more realistic. But as you can see, there's different variations where you can put Kang instead of Iron Man. This guy costs $75 for 100 shards. $80, something like that. Between $75 and $100 for 100 shards to unlock Kang. Free to play, it's not an option unless you get lucky out of events. Then they recommend releasing Doctor Doom in place of Vision. Doctor Doom is Dark Dimension 4. You're not going to be there for a while. If you have Doctor Doom, go ahead and use him, absolutely. But you wouldn't need my advice on this once you have those characters. You're already well into that. You know what I'm saying? So just bear that in mind. I will jump over real quick and give you my tech ideas on my main account here. And some realistic thoughts as to who you could use. So we're going to go down. We're going to scroll down to tech. I know this video is very long, but this information is huge. You won't regret watching it all, I promise you. If you do, there's something wrong. Ghost, again, we're using it in Gamma. You can use in in Doom Raids. Phenomenal character. Build her to the sky, right? Amazing champion. How big you build her is totally up to you. I just build her big enough to beat the content. Other tech recommendations from me would be Kate Bishop, Falcon, maybe Falcon. Shuri, Doc Ock, Kestrel, those three would be great. Spider-Man Big Time would be probably pretty decent. He is a war defense character, but he's got hyped stats. Ultron, you're going to have Ultron. Why not build him up and use him in the Doom Raids when you start? And then transition into the Bionic Avengers. Bear in mind, like I said, as of making this video, these are the characters we have access to. Honestly, there's probably going to be a new tech team by the time we're at level 80 or 85. And if we can get access to those characters, we're going to get them, right? So we'll have to see how that goes. Newer is always better. But those, if you nothing else, you're going to have access to Kestrel, Doc Ock, Shuri, Kate Bishop, Ghost. And those five would be really solid to start you off in Doom Raids. Alright, let's jump back over here. Moving on down to Skill Raid Team. So, this is my starting team, isn't it? They're giving me this in a welcome calendar, these two. I bought the calendar for this dude. Hey, Shang-Chi for my beginner's guide. and Kestrel drops from Mega Orbs or Premium Orbs, you're going to get her pretty quick at 45 shards. And if you already built them for your Arena and Raid team, why not use them in Doom Raids? Now, obviously, there is a better team that you're going to need for Incursion and Doom Raid 3. These guys will make it a lot easier. Hey, there's our Nick Fury, right? So, just bear that in mind. These are the invaders. Again, I don't know that if they're farmable, and if they are, they're on hard nodes. It's nothing you can get to before level 75 or 80. That's why I'm saying wait till you're level 80 before you decide which team to build for Doom Raids. Save your resources. Just focus on your Arena team, your Dark Dimensions, your Raid team. You know what I'm saying? And use what you got for challenges and such. But hey, look at this. This is a great team. It's going to get it done. Just remember, if you build one of these newer team or one of these older teams, you're then going to have to invest in the newer team to beat the very newest content. So that's just how the game's set up. So another cool thing is you never know when they're going to do reworks. And from talks, Bishop, Beast, and Jubilee are looking at getting a rework, as well as Black Order. Maybe this whole team's going to get a rework. Who knows? Because everybody loves these characters. So there's been speculation, and nothing's in stone yet. But there's big rumors out there about reworks. This was the original X-Men team for the Mutant Doom Raids. I'm going to build these characters even if I don't use them in Doom Raids. And I'm going to try to use them, right? Because I love them. Now, the newest team out and the best team out is Death Seed. As you can see here, they're going to blow it up. It's got a Horseman. It's got Nemesis, the son of Apocalypse, or his heir. Psylocke, a legendary Magneto, and Dark Beast. And then, obviously, if you got Apocalypse, you're going to want to plug him in place of Psylocke. So here's another option for the best team in slot for Incursion Raids. Now, we're nowhere near Incursion Raids. We probably won't be for a good 2 years. So just bear that in mind as a new player. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So you might end up building this team anyway, and I want to build this team personally. Just remember, the more characters you invest in, the less gold, less resources you're going to have, you know. So for the Mystic Raid lane for Doom Raids, here's the Mystic Meta is what it was called. Cersei Icarus, like I told you, which got you set up farming them. Deathpool is a new warrior, got you going towards that from Premium Orbs. Dormammu is Dark Dimension 5, so this is insane, and this is a Horseman. This is not natural for most people. Now, a natural team would be the 3 new warriors that I got you farming, or these 2 that you're farming, Premium Orb Drop, and Cersei Icarus. Those 5 are going to blow that raid up and do phenomenal. Now, bear in mind, Morgan Le Fay and Spider-Weaver would be great with these 3. It's a team that you could use. Again, Morgan Le Fay, Spider-Weaver, Deathpool, Cersei Icarus would be a great team. The best team out is Bifrost. So if you have Bifrost, build this team and don't waste resources on these characters. No, these characters are all really good. Build them all. But this is the best in slot. So this team will do it at the lowest investment. They'll complete the hardest content. So just bear that in mind. It's a brand new team that's out. Probably not going to have access to this as of watching this guide. So my recommendation, like I said, is the 3 new warriors, Cersei Icarus, my bad. And then just make an adaptation as you go. That team is going to get you all the way through. So our arena team that we're building towards is going to be amazing and be Doom ready before you even know it. It's going to take out Dark Dimension. You're going to want these 5 for Dark Dimension as well. Just bear that in mind. And those are my recommendations. Newer is better. If you have access to new characters, build them. Again, do not start building Doom teams until you get to level 80, because a new team might come out. And then you just wasted all those resources in a characters you're not going to use because a new team's out that you have. You know what I'm saying? So just bear that in mind and think about it. You don't have to chase the meta. I'm going to build Astonishing X-Men. I'm going to build Secret Avengers with Kestrel and Shang-Chi. I don't care. I love those characters. I want to build them. Are they best in slot? No. It's a waste of resources as most people see it. And technically it would be, because there's something better that eventually I'm going to have to build. But personally, I want the characters and I want to build them. So it's all about having fun, right? So those are my tips and advice for Doom Raids and how to prepare. Wait till level 80, then pick teams. You know what I mean? The newest thing out, if you have access to it, get that and build that. So last but not least, resource management juggling act. With all this information, I want to jump over to this page here and kind of sum this up. When you're playing the game, make sure your arena team's at max level, max gear. Use them in Ultimate 7.5. Start prepping for campaigns between 70 and 75. Be doing Doom War campaigns and hard mode campaigns 75 to 80. And at level 80, decide which teams you want to use for Doom raids, and start building those 5 teams, right? And then obviously build the best team that you got access to. If you don't have access to them and you're free to play, build the team below that and you'll be just fine. Eventually you'll have access to the newer thing by the time you need it. I promise you. And Dark Dimension, it'll just come naturally. I promise you. You're going to be using your 5 strongest characters. Your first 5 that you get to G13, honestly, are probably going to destroy Dark Dimension and get you right through it. Now we need to talk about farming your favorites. So definitely stay attentive on your resource management. Juggle them, use them wisely. Don't just spend them willy-nilly on every character. Spend them on characters you need to beat content, challenges, flash events, game modes, raids, you know what I mean? Campaign requirements. Spend them on those characters. Never build war teams, use the teams you got. Never build cosmic teams, use the teams you got. Apocalypse, that's so end game. When you're going for Apocalypse, you'll know exactly what you need to do. You'll be phenomenal, I promise you. Chasing the meta, do what you can, but free to play, I think it's kind of difficult, especially as a new player. Now, if you're a veteran and you're free to play, you can absolutely chase the meta. Because, like, the requirements were new warriors, and you're going to have them maxed if you're a veteran, right? You'd have been able to do all the Bifrost events for this month. You would get all the new characters, and you'd have the meta, right? So, this is something more for veteran players. Don't worry about it. You're in your own multiverse. Do your best, right? So, how to farm our favorites and have fun in Marvel Strike Force. Enjoy the small successes. And what I mean by that is, like for my roster here, wrong account, sorry. But let's jump over here. For my roster here, I was totally excited when I got Kang. And I got him from an event shop and from Orbs. Essentially. And he's phenomenal, right? And I was just totally stoked, totally blown away. I love it. It's amazing. The small pleasures in this, the small accomplishments. I got in the top 100. I got in the top 250 of Arena. That is amazing. Enjoy those moments because you don't have very many of them throughout the game. You know what I mean? A lot of it becomes a hard grind for like raids and such. And these people that complain, like we just got incursion raids, and they're all like, I can't beat that, and I gotta farm the newest gear, and I can't get access to it without spending. Dude, if you beat every game mode, and they put out game modes, and you instantly beat it, would you not instantly want another game mode? That's not how game modes are designed. And if people are whining about that, you know, they probably should just quit playing Marvel Strike Force. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's like saying, give me a game so I can beat it and be done with it. That is totally dumb. You want to work towards it, you want to build towards it, you want to enjoy the journey. And that's how you have fun in Marvel Strike Force. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the people in your alliance, building the teams you want, the characters you enjoy playing, getting a character to higher gear tiers, 13, 14, 15. Those adrenaline rushes are phenomenal. And when you can level a character you truly love, it's just that much better, okay? So don't quit the game building who someone told you. If you're ever going to quit the game, make sure your last memory is building the characters you love, enjoying the game modes you love. I just try to give you as much information, knowledge, and tips as I can. You're going to be able to build a lot more of your favorite characters and favorite teams if you follow this guide really, really closely and make minimal investments in random characters, okay? So just bear that in mind. You're going to have a ton more gold, a ton more training modules, a ton more gear to build who you want. And those are my best tips and advice for this beginner's guide. Definitely comment down below. Like and subscribe. Have fun in Marvel Strike Force, man. Stop being so hateful and spiteful. You know what I mean? Some of the community can be really toxic out there. Join us on Discord. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Much love. Stay healthy. I'll catch you all in the next one.